Welcome to the Magic Lighthouse podcast. For those of us who are aware that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, the Magic Lighthouse is your mystical pit stop, your spiritual tune-up, your place to pause, reflect, and realign with the next phase of our journey. Join me, Violet Conce, on this adventure to harmonize and amplify the light within ourselves and each other as we raise the consciousness of the planet, one conversation at a time. Thank you for being here and sharing your light with us. Enjoy. Hi there. How was the last episode with Skye? Awesome, right? If you haven't listened to it yet, be sure to check it out after you finish this one, or go back and listen to it now and come back right after. Before we dive into this episode, I want to share a couple of things with you. This Sunday, February 21st, we are hosting a delicious group-supported Reiki and Theta healing to help you clear out the old and align to your highest good. I co-lead with my friend and partner, Elizabeth Williams, who is a powerful Theta healer. Side note, we also do free meditations with Reiki on her Instagram page at ALilBitJoy. ALilBitJoy. The group healing is held online through Zoom on February 21st from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This month, we're focusing on love as an inside job. We are committed to being our own best partners, taking the focus off someone or something out there to make us happy and realigning to fulfilling our own needs so we can be of service to ourselves and others. Sounds good, right? We will gather, connect, and deep dive through reflective exercises. We receive group Theta healing to clear our subconscious beliefs that are holding us back and supercharge our intentions with Reiki to align our bodies and attractions to our highest and best manifestations. Get ready to power wash your soul and up-level your life. We all rise together. You can sign up at themagiclighthouse.com or on Eventbrite, and I will also post the link in the show notes. We would love to have you there. I also wanted to share a little personal kind of share here that I am in a Netflix documentary that was just released this month on February 5th. It is called Strip Down, Rise Up. It's an intimate, inspiring movie that follows the stories of several women who are healing their past pain and traumas through pole dancing, reclaiming their bodies, and stepping into their newly empowered selves. I'm not a highlighted character in it, but I do make plenty of cameos. Check it out and let me know how you like it. That's all for this update. Thanks so much for your support, and if you feel called to attend our healing event, connect with us on Instagram and YouTube, or work with me one-on-one, please reach out. Hope you enjoy this part 2 of the interview with magical Skye Quinonez.
I wanted to heal myself so badly that healing practices became obsessive. Like I wanted to understand it all, and I was reading energy all the time. And I've gone to massage school, so that also helped with the psychic ability. There was the Munai, which is the 9 rites of the Peruvian tribe. And they also gift you like the seer's rights and the healer's rights. And after that, it felt like DNA downloads came into my energy field, and it just opened up my psychic ability even more. And on top of, oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I wanted to go a little bit about, what was it called again?
Energy kinesiology.
No, the last one you mentioned about the keys and
the Munai. The Munai. So I believe it's MUNAY and then KI.
Okay, and then what is Munai? I'm very, very interested in this.
Yeah. So the Munai. Sorry.
Are we allowed to talk about them?
Yeah, we are. No, I was just like, it's my heart. That's why I was so excited. So the Munai is from the Quero tribe of Peru, and they were in hiding for, I don't even know, 100 plus years. And their prophecy was when their glacier started to melt, they'd have to come out of hiding and share their wisdom with the world. And I believe it was 1956, their glacier started melting, and they knew that this prophecy of the golden age was here, and they had to prep us. And one core belief I have was the Mayan shift, the calendar, right? And that we were going to all be in this golden prophecy, and we would all be walking in harmony. And because that resonated with me so much, I followed this Munai-Ki path. And I believe that the Munai-Ki was actually, the name itself was developed by Alberto. I don't know his last name. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, I have the book. Let me just grab his name. So his name's Alberto Villoldo. I think that's how you say it. But he wrote the Four Insights. But he happened to go to Peru, and he worked with the Quero tribe, and then he developed this whole program. And my shaman Andrea worked with him, and so then she taught me, and I have done now the Munai-Ki Will twice. But what they went through is they bless you with the 9 rights. And it's just this whole, I mean, I can pull out the books if you want to know more of the rights, but they're like keys, they're energetic keys that get imprinted in your fields. And the purpose of them is to step into that golden prophecy, the golden book, and then you become a creator with the divine. One thing they didn't like about this Quero tribe, the churches were killing them off because they worked with the feminine. They worked with the divine creator, this feminine energy, and they didn't like that. It was all about the God and the male. So that's why they went into hiding. But now they're like, no, we get to co-create. We are co-creators. And they had a vision of these luminous beings, these rainbow warriors walking the planet and awakening people. And I've been now seeing them. I'm like, we are the earth keepers. We're the ones with the ancient wisdom, and it's real and it's beautiful. And you're one of them, Violet. That's why you're so interested in, activating the Reiki and the energy healing and just your ancestral roots. I really do know and believe in my whole being that so many of these wounded healers are being born to shift the planet, to awaken love again, love, like real love, and not this overworked, society where it's all about like what we look like and what we build. And instead of really letting the earth like unfold in front of us and enjoying the beauty and enjoying the feelings of love inside of us. Yeah, but that's where yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So beautiful. I was just getting like chills up and down my whole body. Like, yes, it sounds so nice and it resonates with me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Did you ever go to Peru?
I did, yeah. I went, I think August 2016, I think, maybe 16. And that's where I met the twin shamans, which is they are my teachers, my abuelitas. They also helped activate my psychic ability. They have healed thousands of people. There's a book called, I believe it's The Gift of Life. And this woman, this professor from Logan University, actually, she went and researched them, and she researched their clients. She wanted to know if they were really healing people with these random illnesses that no doctor could heal. And they were. So the twin shamans, I've actually really want you to meet them. truly, when you meet them, it's like, oh my gosh, that is pure light in front of you right now. And they're so funny. They're so smart. Yeah, twin shamans.
Oh my gosh, I would love to meet them
Yeah.
and have them on the podcast, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, they speak only Spanish, but we could have a translator.
There you go.
They would actually be really cute on the podcast. Oh, because they just love teaching. I feel like there's some people that like to hoard their education or like their gifts. They feel like, oh, this is my talent of healing. But they are all about, this is how you teach, this is how you clear the ancestors, this is how you balance the uterus. They just want to share everything that they've ever learned. It's so amazing.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in today's day and age, like there's no room to be a hoarder for your talents and your, the healing. Like if someone needs it, then why not share if it's available, Of course, we have to make money and like survive and make a living for ourselves. And I think there's a balance. So that's really beautiful that they do that so openly and willingly. And I definitely could see that, with you.
Yep.
So were you going to say something?
Oh no, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say with you, like you're so generous in the sessions that you offer, like you answer all the questions, you say all the downloads, you even like will answer some questions through text messages, which is like, in between sessions, and I don't know anybody else that would do that so openly and willingly and just like, here, yeah, oh yeah, that's because of this, you should just dance it out. I'm like texting you like, I'm so angry right now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, that's just some lingering energy of some this and that. So just dance it out the window. That was a really cool day, by the way. But back to what we were talking about. I want to ask you, in your sessions with people, so you usually do like psychic reading, soul retrieval, past life regression, is that what they call it?
Yeah.
What else do your sessions consist of? Like, paint us a little picture.
So, well, with COVID, I'm not able to, and with people living so far away too, a lot of my sessions do incorporate that physical body work too.
Yeah, like
massage, that's so key. For trauma too, there's something about that physical release that helps, because we store, I can see sometimes like people who have these repetitive like nervous twitches, and I then can see the energy. I'm like, oh, it was either a past life where you were in this accident, or your mom created this twitch, like there was abuse. And so there's something magical about that physical part that can calm. But truly what the sessions are all about. So I really saw the world there's two parts of them. You have the one that has all the wounds and all the traumas and all the stories and all of the memories, and it's all like pulling them in all these different directions. And then you have this fully aligned being that's just their pure energy. And God had showed me that I had to master seeing all this chaos and be able to help get them into this aligned state. And that was that whole prophecy of the Quiero tribe and the Mayans, that we would all be reborn. So I asked, like, how do you be reborn? And it's about clearing everything. And so the session is really about looking at the multidimensional layers of the body and the soul. And that's, visioning in the past lives, and that's visioning into the ancestral DNA, and the also, like I said, that the muscle too, because I think it's, I don't remember what the painting is called, but like, the Da Vinci, where he has all the arms out like this, the perfect human body. I meditated with that, and I realized that when you have trauma, it blocks off those circuits. And so one of the goals too was to get the body and the physical openness. And as I was in massage school, I started to see where those physical ailments was really recreating energy patterns for them. Um, so I can't wait until COVID's over where we can do more of the body work. But really, to wrap up that question, it's it's about getting people into that new story, into their full aligned being, the rebirth. Mhm.
What's your favorite part about doing sessions?
Um, my favorite part, honestly, it's, oh, that's a good question. Um, well, okay, so two things I know favorite part, but it's really like the connection to God, to really like the energetic, it is heaven for me, the experience of that. And the second is to really be able to help people who have those mystery questions, like, no one's ever known this about me, or thank you so much for seeing that, for being the person that solving mysteries for people. Like, I love that. And yeah, that's my favorite. And then, like, the tears and the emotions, all of it, I love it. Mm-hmm.
So beautiful. I've definitely had those experiences with you where it's just like, oh my gosh, thank you. Now I can rest because I'm like, I have an answer, or like, I've been thinking about this for so many years and now I understand, why this happened in my life and where it's leading me.
Mm-hmm.
Super cool. I'm just curious about, like, you mentioned past lives and healing things in past lives. And you and we were on a call earlier today doing a session with me and Gus, my husband, and we talked a little bit about past lives. And I'm just curious, and I'm sure the audience is curious too, in reading past lives, how do you know that you're reading a past life and that it's not just something else, like a thought, or like it's your imagination, or like maybe it's like you're reading an energy but it's not quite a past life? Like, how do you know?
So there were a couple of faith moments for me that, because I was really against past lives, I thought they were so crazy. Like, when I first started opening up my mind to that, because someone was like, you just try it. And then I started to heal past lives in myself. And it, oh, let me think of the story that I can maybe help the audience understand where that awakening was for me. Oh, okay. So I was in a healing session. Oh, go ahead.
Were you a little skeptical before at all?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. 1,000,000%. And, you know, then when I was like, God, I need faith in this. I need some like testimonies, experiences to really like understand if this is true. And I remember meeting I don't remember the doctor's name, but I happened to go into his conference, his teaching at the You Can Do It workshop thing for Hay House. I think we were in Denver, and I chose his workshop because it was about healing your past lives, and I wanted to know more about past lives. So I went in there, and he started talking about how he was a psychologist and therapist, and he was helping people with weird illnesses. And I have a weird illness, so I'm really open up. Like, I'm like, my like spectrum goes, yeah, what about weird illnesses? So I'm really listening. And he's like, I decided to do hypnotherapy on my client. And he was trying to see where this illness first developed. And she starts going into this like 1800s life. And he's thinking, what the heck? Like, why is she there? And she's describing what's about to happen to her. And he just thinks, stop it. Stop stop that from happening. And so she stops it, rewrites the story, and it so happens that her illness goes away. Weeks later, this thing solved it. And then he actually did this for a lot of his clients. And he wrote a whole book about it. and the miracles that happened. And so I thought to myself, I wonder if my alopecia is related to past lives. Like, I wonder if maybe I should just kind of meditate with that and see if that's true. So I really worked with it. I wanted to see it. And there was this moment when this is where the flip was, right? For me to really like, so the universe it's a funny thing. And when you heal something, especially a past life, similar characters come back into your world, and you start to feel that reminiscing feeling of like, oh, this has happened before, right? It feels like you just know it's a past life. So I was in this healing session with this lady, and she's doing my Akashic record, and I asked her, is there lives about my past lives about my hair? And she goes into this Akashic record reading, and she starts going into details about how I was all of a sudden scalped. She's like, you were scalped and you were in love with this guy, but you got scalped. And then I don't remember all the details, but I just remember thinking, whoa, that's insane. If that's real, that's crazy, but it would make sense because I did manifest that again. And so I go to work that night. I'm standing at the bar at my family's restaurant, and I'm holding this blue Death Star, which is a drink they have. And I'm like, okay, well, this isn't my drink, but then something tells me you need to take this drink to a table on the other side of the restaurant. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, spirit's strong right now. So I'm carrying this drink to this table, and it so happens to be this boy from high school who took off my hat when I was bald in high school and threw it on the ground, and I was exposed. My bald head, I used to hide it. I didn't want anyone to know. And so he had pulled off my hat, and I was traumatized, right? And then there I am handing him this drink, and I have this vision of this past life where I was scalped, and then I was in love with this boy, and then I look at this boy and I'm like, oh, you scalped me and I was in love with you. And he had asked me like, hey, do you want to hang out sometime? And I thought to myself, no. Like, this is a recreation character and I need to choose not to hang out with you again. But then those moments started happening where I would do more of these past life work meditations, and similar things unwinded. And then I got so much healing through myself that I could just read it on other people and feel it so strong. So one of the keys to activating the psychic ability is really healing yourself, really understanding, because when you get to that aligned space, anything that comes in that is not you, it's like you're able to read it so much easier because it's not yours. You know yourself so much because you've done all the healing. So yeah, that's one thing. Like I say, the biggest thing to activate your psychic ability is self-healing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty wild story, but pretty awesome.
It is wild, and it's, yeah, my life is funny.
I like you're just like, no, thank you. I'm gonna go this way.
Yeah. I'm like, I think there was bad karma there. So I think if I re-choose this situation, it's just gonna unfold the way it used to. And that was one of those pinpoint moments where you start to realize, oh, I can either recreate this past life again, or I can choose to create the new story. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had moments where in life I've had situations. It's like usually with boyfriends, like, okay, I'm gonna be with this person, and then we break up, and then it's like, okay, can we come back together? And then we break up, and then we get back together, and then break up, and then there always has to be a time where it's just like, you know what, I'm gonna just say no this time and just choose not to go back into that relationship and go this other way, because we just like keep feeding this cycle, you know, whether it's like in this life or it's feeding a past life cycle, and it's just like you just know that rabbit hole that you're going to go down if you say yes again, or if you like meet someone who has similar qualities and you say yes, you can kind of know, okay, it's going to take me down this kind of path. So it's very interesting. Like, just no, thank you. Let's pick a different path.
Violet, that's so awesome, because you really do get to sense that, like that, and you get to choose your path, and you know that that's your psychic ability, that's your awareness. So that's awesome that you've developed that. And the more and more you build that too, it's like, okay, I can feel like it's repeating me in this pattern, and then the closer and closer you get to really that heart path. It's so awesome.
Do you think that everybody's psychic?
Yes. Well, some people refuse to be. I mean, so I'd like to say, okay, well, instincts. I think everyone has instincts. If they choose to use the word psychic, then yes, but some people refuse. They're atheists or they believe more in science. But I believe that anyone could activate that, most definitely, if they choose.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. And I want to touch back on the alopecia a little bit. I did a little bit of research on it. I just learned that it's kind of like a spontaneous losing of hair, but I don't really know anything else about it. So I want to know, you know, because I recently just heard about this condition recently, right before I met you. So it's serendipitous that you came into my life right after I heard about someone whose child has it. And yeah, I wanted to just find out about that, and then your healing journey around it, and yeah.
So my alopecia started when it actually fell out in cycles. So at 13, I remember getting my first bald spot and thinking, what the heck is this? You know, freaking out. and it all fell out and then grew back really fast. It was just on the top of my head. And then around 15, it started falling out again, and it wasn't growing back. And at the time, the Western medicine doctor I went to was able to grow it back, but there was a lot of side effects to the prescriptions I was on. And it was a very dark time in my life. And then anyways, he got it to grow back. And then finally around like 21, I mean, I've always had bald spots. He wasn't able to grow all of it back. But finally at 22, I was in a sacred ceremony, and the medicine had told me, you've got to stop taking that Western medicine. You have to. And I was looking in the mirror, and I was like seeing the side effects just like all around me. And I was freaked out by them. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna, like, and obviously they're amplified. And so I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die if I don't take this journey. And I just remember Spirit saying, you're gonna lose all your hair. Like, because at that point I had eyelashes. Like, I still felt like, oh, I could be still feminine and I could just wear wigs. And yeah, no, 22, and it was gone within probably a month. My eyelashes, my hair, and it was insane. The identity issues that come with that. Like, who am I without hair? I had that, like, it was long and it just down to my hips, and it was beautiful, and I had thick black eyelashes, to all of a sudden being like this alien staring in the mirror and not having anything feminine on her at all. I felt like a boy. But I've had faith in that journey, the guidance, the wisdom that's like, okay, you just need to start. And it was fun, like really, really fun, trying to understand why. I do know God gave me alopecia so that I could go on this miraculous healing journey. And one of the things too, I don't know why this is coming up, but I remember thinking to myself, oh, this is out of this world strange. And you don't have to put this on the podcast if you don't want to. But I remember thinking to myself, oh, wow, I have circles, because alopecia that falls out in circle patches, right? And I remember just secretly thinking to myself, man, I have crop circles on my head. Like, and I've never told anyone this, right? And I remember 2 occasions, like this guy, I was at this healing retreat and he looks at my head and I had just a little bit left and it looked like this sun. It was like there was a bald spot in the center, and then I had little hair that looked like sun rays coming off, and then I had one little spot that looked like the moon. And yeah, it was very strange. And anyways, this man, he's a healer and awesome man, Dave Holiday. He comes up to me, he's like, oh, so you're the girl with the crop circles on her head. And I'm thinking to myself, who the heck are you? Like, what? How did you know this? And then the second time I was at this music festival and I was on the beach, and this girl came up to me, Kate was her name, and she's like, wow, your head looks like the crop circles that was just found. And I was thinking, whoa, so is there some sort of like meaning to my head, you know? And then I met the twin shamans, and all this time I'm thinking, I'm still sick. I'm sick. It's alopecia. I'm sick. I have an autoimmune disease. I'm sick. And always constantly trying to solve a sickness. And then they tell me, oh, cielo, that's my name in Spanish. You're not sick. Like, you're not sick at all. You're not sick. The people from the stars don't grow hair, right? And I thought that was just weird at first, because like I'm a very science-minded person, and being psychic was very difficult for me, and I've had to kind of make peace with it, and now I'm all about it. But I realized my head was tied to patterns in the earth, truly. And like even at 13, it was tied to a hormonal pattern, and I learned a lesson. And I realized I was in seasons. Like my body was related to, okay, so I'm in the winter season, and now I'm in this season, and now I'm connected to the stars. And now it's time like that I'm in this phase. And the twin shamans had told me, Skye, your hair will grow back when God wants it to, you know, but you're not supposed to be there. And I started to see that it's like I can't grow until it's time to root down, to really be in the earth. And so I am still healing those little subconscious parts. I mean, because I've been sick for 20 years, right? So to really change the nervous system, you have to tell yourself, I'm not sick. So I'm still kind of working on that.
You have to say, I'm healthy.
Yeah. And it's when you tell yourself, I'm sick, it continues to feed the sickness. So that's where I'm at presently with it. But at the same time, too, I'm not done with the lesson. Because even when I look in the mirror recently, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I also created this because I needed to protect myself. I made myself look like a man, because baldness is like the masculine to me. Not saying men is bald, like, you know, being a female can be bald, can be feminine. But I realized with my mom's rapes, my sister's abuse, I've been sexually abused. I've been physically and emotionally abused. With all of this abuse around me, my body created this protective version. I felt deep down, if I was unattractive, that I wouldn't be injured and that no one would come and hurt me. And now that I've been telling my body that it's safe, that it's okay to be beautiful and sexy, because that was scary to me. I felt like there was a predator every time I was blossoming. like, hey girl, you're sexy, pick me up and almost take me home. And I'm like, excuse me, like, hey, I'm not your woman, like, don't grab me like this. So coming out as a beautiful woman is scary. So now I feel like the more I embrace that feminine soft energy, the more I can feel like my scalp being stimulated, and I don't have to be so afraid of being this tough exterior of protection, you know? So alopecia and autoimmune diseases, all of this, it's multidimensional. I mean, you've got obviously the health in the body and the nutrition, but you also have the spiritual contract. You have the taking accountability for why you created it. There's also, the awakening of emotions. Like, there's so much to it. And one of the biggest things I have for people who are struggling with illness, especially autoimmune disease, it's an opportunity for you to like wake up the healer inside of you and to discover yourself and ask yourself why. We rely so much on doctors, and don't get me wrong, the doctors have helped me, and there's medical professionals that have helped me, but I feel like there's this wisdom deep inside of all of us that really knows why we create our illnesses and why we have these things. And so, yeah, just to wrap that part up, it's like I challenge people with autoimmune diseases to like find that in themselves, go on that self-discovery journey, because it's your body that's rejecting things, right? It's your immune system is attacking you. So you have to figure out what is the belief system around that and why. And man, it's taken me 10 years to find all these answers, but it's not anything I regret. I love it. I think that if I didn't have alopecia, my life would be boring. And I would just be a basic human who was like, oh, I think I'm good at singing, or I think I'm good at this. But now, like, my soul gave me depth, and yeah, so I wouldn't change it at all. Sorry, I would have just like, yeah.
No, yeah, I'm just sitting here like watching, just like mesmerized by you and the way that you have your, is it a scarf?
Yeah.
Like I was just like kind of seeing it as if it was this colorful hair coming down, because I just love the style and the color, and I see how you drape it around your face, and
thank you.
Beautiful. And I just love the transformational journey of having this condition, this autoimmune disease, if you will, and then flipping it and making it a healing journey, and loving it and learning so much about yourself, because you've healed so many parts of yourself through this journey, past lives, current life, all kinds of things. And maybe you might not have like the hair manifested just yet, but there's so much more that you have being on this journey. Right.
Thank you. And it's so cute, because even with the scarves, and this is for anyone who's listening, who has no hair, one thing that people, like, you're going through cancer, there's a lot of recipients, like people come at you that say, oh, you're beautiful balds, and they're trying to help. I know they're trying to help, but those who are losing their hair, don't feel like you have to step up to this superpower of being confident as a bald person. I mean, some people get there and they're like, I'm bald and I'm gonna rock it. But be gentle with yourself. Losing your hair is really traumatic. And if you don't want people to see your bald head, then don't show them. You don't need to expose themselves. Like, I feel like my bald head sometimes was almost like my private parts. And like, seriously, like, this is my sacred head and I don't have to just show you, and I feel like a lot of these women who are going through cancer or chemo or even developing alopecia, find your own personal journey with it. And don't be afraid to wear scarves or your hats. If that's what makes you feel comfortable in the moment, then do that. Do what feels right to you. So that I wanted to really quickly say that, because it's a struggle for women and men losing their hair.
Yeah, I can't imagine that. And thanks for
Mhm.
saying that. That it's funny because it did speak to me. That did speak to something that was in my space of like, you know, people who are losing their hair, who have cancer, who have alopecia. I think that's how you say it, right? I was saying it
Yeah,
wrong earlier.
it's okay.
Wearing wigs or wearing this and that. And I love seeing people that are bald and they're like rocking it and they have earrings and stuff like that. Um, and then at the same time, I'm like, if I had that situation, I can't imagine how traumatic that would be. And I would want to, take my time and I don't know. I mean, we're all on our own journey and different paths.
Mhm.
So thank you for
Mhm.
stating that and just like, you know, giving people permission, that you gave yourself permission, but giving people permission and encouraging them to take it slow, take it as it comes and don't feel pressured to share any part of yourself that you don't feel comfortable sharing with. Like I love how you said it's kind of like your private parts. Like, yeah, like don't look at my, don't look at my head. Don't look at my, if you don't like your elbows or if you feel like sensitive about your elbows, like you have every right to like wear what you
Protect
want to
your
wear.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
protect yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
funny. Well, this has been so good. Like I want to keep going. Is there anything that you want to leave the audience with before we sign off for this episode?
Um I don't know, the thing that pops in my mind is just going back to that heart chakra and the heart energy, and um really letting that be your compass and to listen to yourself. And with COVID and all these things that are happening, um, your heart knows. It has so much wisdom. And that's another tool that helped me open up my psychic abilities. So, for those who are wanting to have also those same, capabilities, just tell your heart, hey, heart, I want to learn this. Can you guide me to the people that are going to help me, grow this quality? And your heart will guide you, and become devoted to your heart. It really does guide you. That's how, one of the biggest ways I learned every day. Okay, where am I supposed to go? Okay, go to this store, or go here. And just the synchronicities unfolded. So that's what I'd like to leave. And um, with everyone, just keep following your heart. You are your own gurus. You guys are wisdom keepers. Um, yeah. And if you ever want a session or anything, I'm here. I'm really good at being able to read what your heart wants. Most of the time.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I can attest to that. And yes, that is like so powerful, such powerful wisdom. Connecting with your heart. Seriously, meditating. I hear lots of meditating is very, 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 very important. That's why we start in most podcasts, we start with a little meditation. And yeah, how can people find you? How can people get a hold of you if they want to work with you?
So I have my Instagram is my social media right now. So you at Cielo to Skye.
Can you spell that?
Yes, CIELOTOSKYE.
And if you can't find it, you can go to the Magic Lighthouse Instagram, and she is one of my followers. I follow her, and she follows me, so you could find her through there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then just message me, and I do the session, like a 10-minute session. We'll talk, see if you vibe with me, because I feel like as healers, you have to make that connection. If it doesn't feel right, So yeah, just message me through there.
Yeah. Message her through there, and then you guys will get connected. Usually you do Zoom calls, right? At least right now. And then once all the restrictions and all of that lift, then you are opening back up your body work
Yeah.
business,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Awesome. Well,
Yeah, so I do Zoom or FaceTime. So whatever works for them.
perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Well, this has been so magical. Did we talk about everything you wanted to talk about?
Oh, yeah. We reached all these fun places. Thank you, Violet,
Yes.
so much. It was good to open up some of those old stories too. I'm like, oh, yay! I'm gritting, and like the happy hormones are like all kicked in. I'm like, yes, this is what life's about.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. This has been seriously a highlight of my whole month. You know, just like having these kinds of conversations and connecting and sharing. So I really appreciate you. Thank you for being here and giving your time and sharing your wisdom. And yeah.
Okay, well, I love you, Violet. Thank you for creating this space.
My pleasure. Mwah! All right, folks, we're going to be heading out. Check back in for our next episode. Bye. For more guided meditations, soulful conversations, and conscious content launched weekly, please follow the Magic Lighthouse wherever you listen to podcasts.